150 and they're from Queens.
And we're at a convention of PGA 73. We're in the exhibit hall. And as you can see from the banner behind me, I am Jon Berall, and I am the inventor of the video laryngoscope. And yes, all video laryngoscopes. My patent describes a blade with a camera past the tongue, which in fact has been called and written about as a revolution in airway management. I'm here today at the the Marriott Marquis Hotel in Times Square, New York City. I have an exhibition booth in this PGA 73, 4,000 anesthesiologists from around the world visiting New York City and this conference. This story started 25 years ago for me when I had the idea for the video laryngoscope. And since then I have in fact dedicated my life to this instrument. I got a patent early on and then began telling everybody about the idea. 4 years later, multiple companies came out with a product. Unfortunately, the product had design problems which would limit its use and limit its usefulness when used. And so I couldn't stop working on the project. I continued. And I brought to the attention of the anesthesia world laryngoscopes made in Japan that were, in fact, right out of my patent, and in China right out of my patent. And now, if you go around this hall, you will see multiple video laryngoscopes, because in fact, it is now considered standard of care. It's still expensive, and so it's not going to be used everywhere, but it's considered standard of care, and soon it will be used everywhere.
When was your eureka moment where you were like, okay, this needs a camera?
Right.
Were you like walking in the park? Was it a stroll?
No, it was nothing quite like that. It was the morning after I had worked a shift in...
Yeah, so you invented this? Is that what you were?
I did. Well, I claim that I invented all the video laryngoscopes.
Oh.
Because in fact, my patent is the first patent by 3 years, and I was telling everybody about it during those 3 years.
A little bit about just kind of, it seemed like you were out there one of the first people to think about this.
Right.
And then,
Okay.
And how you ended up where you are today.
Right. Well, I was definitely the first person to think about it, and I couldn't get it out of my mind because, I was having a regular life, and all of a sudden this idea came into my head, and I couldn't walk away from it, so I researched it as much as I could in terms of other patents and other things like that, and decided that, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and get a patent if I can. I found a guy who's an excellent patent lawyer, and we came up with a patent. And we got a patent, and I started telling everybody who would listen, because the deal is you must tell or they can take your patent away. If you just go out, that whole deal. I started going to conferences and all over the country and then all over the world, and everywhere I went, everybody said, what the hell is that? What's going on? And then these companies came out with their product, and unfortunately the product was, I thought, not good.
Right.
Each product had a flaw. And I don't,
Sure.
why? But, avoiding a patent? Yeah. And Verathon was avoiding a patent.
And were they infringing on yours, or did you get in any kind of legal battle with them? Or?
Not in the patents. Not in the patents, but in the product.
In the product.
Yeah. The patents, okay, they did a good job. They avoided my patent. That's what you got to do.
In the physical embodiment, they were...
Yeah.
So what was their response? Did did you send them formal legal?
Oh yeah, no. Well, we were communicating for years and years,
And they just
and then they, basically, well, they made offers. I mean, but they were crazy offers. They were,
Yeah.
I had already spent 5 times on what they were offering, and so in 2010, I said, okay, let's see if we can go to court. And they had told me basically, you can't bother us, so we're not going to bother with you.
Yeah.
All right, that's big because it's $5 million to take them to court.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I found, as it turns out, you can go to court on your own. In any case, I had a law firm, but it did not work out. They sold me out immediately. First phone calls, they wanted me to settle for half of what these companies were offering before I got the lawyers. Okay, so I got rid of the lawyers, and I've been on my own since then, dealing with the court. The first thing that Verathon and Pentax did when we took them to court was they went back to the patent office and to argue that the patent should not have been granted
in the first place.
Yeah. Re-examination. Incredibly difficult to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, incredibly difficult.
But you were able to survive that.
9 years, 9.5 years. Over
It is a huge
over
distraction.
4,000 pages. Crazy. I got lucky. I finally got to the judges, the highest level in the patent office, and there was one of 3 who listened and I think was my kind of
Advocate.
and another few moves with them, and I got the patent. And then now we're sitting in court waiting for the court to do something.
Right.
Not sure.
Yeah.
And that's what, I was just improving my prototype. The video laryngoscope, okay?
Okay.
This goes back to 1998. And for the first 4 or 5 years, I was telling everybody about it, about the idea. I didn't have the money to bring it out, which was $5 million at that time. And so I was telling companies at conventions like this, the biggest companies, Storz and Pentax and all. But I was I was a foolish kind of fellow in a sense. I had very rudimentary prototypes.
Okay.
But working, so the concept was understood. And then in 2004, really 5, 4 companies came out with video laryngoscopes.
Okay.
And I didn't know that anyone was working on them at the time. So I'm going around to all.
After that, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you get it patented, then you approach manufacturers in the field. And
Email them or something like that. You just email them lightly, or what do you do?
we advise them of your patent.
No, if my patent is come, like I have a provisional patent filed, so it's secure, then what?
Then you approach manufacturers in the field and you say, this is what I have, it's a good idea, consider it, and that's Thank you.
You're gonna be famous.
Oh,